Hey, I'm so excited to be joined by this amazing group. Group and two phenomenal women in our industry who are supporting STEM. And so I'm just going to let each of you jump in and introduce yourselves so that our audience can learn from you and know who you are. So let's just get started.
My name is Shanali Ditz. I'm a co-founder and co-director of Spark Shop.
And my name is Tiernan Merle. I am the other co-founder and co-director of Spark Shop.
So Tiernan, tell us what has been going on we met you back in October, not this last October, but the October 2019. And you were a presenter at the Empowering Women Conference, and y'all did a great job. And I loved how you brought in, the handheld that people can really, use that and have a real knowledge of tools, right? STEM tools. And, that was fun for us as part of that conference. But what are you doing every day with Spark Shop?
Yeah, so Spark Shop is a 501c3 charity that has a mission of inspiring and mobilizing the next generation of engineers, inventors, and entrepreneurs. And so we are really passionate about showing kids, specifically fourth and fifth graders, about the diversity of work that exists in the technical fields, because we think that more people would pursue it if they knew what was out there. So up back when we met, Shanali and I were running in-school programming where we would travel to schools, we would bring a whole bunch of equipment and machinery, and we would run hands-on workshops that let kids try engineering up close. And obviously with COVID, we can't go into schools anymore. Even though some of our schools are meeting in person, some of our schools are meeting virtually, we had to totally shift our model because we couldn't safely go and spend time directly with students anymore.
But you did that. So y'all, Shanali, you can tell us about this too, that you've adapted and made this kit or activity guide that you can get while you're at home, which is awesome.
Yeah, so we made a pretty rapid change since, as Tiernan mentioned, our whole program was about like face-to-face, hands-on, sharing things, all the things that are disease spreaders. So now what we're looking at is how can we give kids that hands-on experience at home without necessarily being face-to-face. So the first thing we did is we created an activity guide for kids during sort of the shutdown last spring and over the summer that would give them suggestions of STEM activities to do that connect to their interests or the skills they want to build. So a kid might not necessarily say, I'm a math and science fan, this is my favorite subject. They might really enjoy music. They might really enjoy dance. And so what our activity guide did was try to tie those interests to a STEM activity. And then this school year, we sort of blew out that model so that we're providing the schools we work with 8 months of free engineering curriculum that comes as a sort of mix of STEM activities and humanities activities. So the kids are practicing a different kind of engineering every month and receiving the materials so that they can do that wherever they're learning.
Yeah, and I think that's a testament to your relationships that you already built. So you've been, so in the Chicago area, you reached out to schools and you were going into these schools. And so already establishing that, then now we can make that shift really easy. So I think it is a testament to that network. Have you seen growth outside of the Chicago area?
Not quite yet. I guess we expanded to one new district in the suburbs, but our goal for this year, instead of trying to grow in a big way, was just to adapt and to sort of grow what the program is. Because we went from basically a 4-week program with a school to 8 months, and at all of our schools concurrently instead of sort of back to back like we used to. So we are sending materials to over 1,000 kids a month. Wow. That's keeping us pretty busy. We are definitely making plans to grow it next year, but this whole school year is kind of a grand experiment for us.
Yeah, and I think those teachers are probably like so thankful to have somebody help them out in this digital world, and being overwhelmed just to adapt themselves. So having you as someone that can help them. I was really wondering. I know y'all did the trivia night and kind of bringing people in to kind of just raise awareness about STEM. How's that? Those type of interactions, I guess. How do you see them being valuable?
Well, we are both engineers by trade, and so a lot of our friends and former colleagues are also engineers by trade. So we're very lucky to have a big network of people in the technical fields. And we used to really prioritize, a lot like Empowering Women in Industry does, we used to prioritize bringing people together to talk and to meet each other and to engage kind of in social settings. And that doubled as a fundraising opportunity for us, but it also gave us a place to tell our story and to highlight our successes. And when we switched to the virtual model, we were able to expand that beyond just our friends and colleagues who live in Chicago. So we had people from all across the country calling in to our trivia nights, and that was a really fun opportunity to just kind of continue spreading our reach and to continue showing people that it matters that we continue with education, especially through this difficult time.
Yes. And so I hate that Steve Shaheen couldn't join us, but he's one of the engineers in Chicago that is also working with children in STEM. And so I think that if you are an engineer, you see the importance of introducing engineering to others. And really, I do want to ask you a little bit about kind of STEM to STEAM. It's something that I love to ask because I see, like, I just got inserted into your world for arts coming in. I think that I have a definitely creative side to me. How do you, I guess, differentiate or, embrace the arts in STEM?
I think it's already so interconnected. So in some ways, it's been really easy to wrap up arts, writing, communication, all sorts of skills that people would consider not traditional STEM skills. All of those strengths make someone a better problem solver, a better engineer, better at sort of taking an idea through the entire process. So sort of understanding that felt a little natural to us, because I think both Tiernan and I, when we were working in industry, and specifically the automotive and manufacturing industries, felt like there need to be more creative people here. There need to be better communicators here. There are a bunch of bright people in the room, but we're missing certain skills. So that's the kind of message we want to take to our students and say, look at how your ability to draw well can translate into a career, can translate into drafting or working on pitch materials, working on manuals and guides. There are so many different ways that you can apply those skills in our fields.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And then the storytelling aspect in marketing, getting those stories out there so that people can understand our worlds. So thank you for letting me dive in there because I just think that, as we design the curriculum for these children, and thankfully we have you two doing that and thinking through that, because it is so important to show them all the different jobs that they could have and expose them to a little bit of all these different fields. Do you have any, outside of engineering, because you're both the engineers, outside of that, do you have a favorite the field, that you like to focus on?
I'm going to jump in with one of the lessons we put out in October. So October was our mechanical engineering month. And so we thought of a bunch of different topics that we would connect to it. And one that we came up with was dance. And so a former intern of ours, who's a dance instructor and an industrial engineer, created a dance for the kids that goes along with the simple machines. So there's like one move for each kind of simple machine. The kids choreograph their own thing. So that was really fun.
Oh yeah, my daughter would be all over that. So I'll have to tell her about that. Well, I brought you in here today because STEM Day is coming up, and I wanted to just kind of first find out kind of how you shifted. I knew some of it, but not all. And then, how can we celebrate STEM Day, right? So we're at home maybe, or even if we are in the classroom, you're listening to this. What are some things that, we can do during that day? It's a Sunday, so maybe this gives us a little bit more opportunity at home. But STEM and STEAM days, it's really nice to celebrate, but then we can extend beyond just Sunday, right? But what are some things that you would encourage people to do?
Well, I will recommend, it's pretty easy to celebrate STEM Day by doing the Invention Process, which is something you can research online and see what the steps are, but it's pretty straightforward. You pick a problem that you want to solve, and that could be something that's challenging for you or just something that could be better. You try to understand your problem, brainstorm different solutions, do some sketches, do some prototyping, and we're big fans of prototyping with things that you can just find at home. So toilet paper tubes or yogurt containers or plastic, silverware, it doesn't matter. Any of the materials that are around that are low cost that can help you start to see the way you can change the world around you is a really powerful thing for people of all ages to experience. So that's one that I can recommend that doesn't really require going too far out of your way to prepare for anything.
I love it. And then the other thing I'll just say is, being able to highlight others. And so what we like to do is highlight our engineers, highlight people who are like you that are doing amazing things for our children and the next generation. But then, don't forget the people out there doing the job every day and working in these fields. Just, think about who you know and give them a shout out and say thanks. We like to do that publicly, but you can do it privately as well. Is there anything else that you want to kind of let people know about Spark Shop and how to get in touch with you before we go?
So we are online at sparkshop.org. We're also on Facebook and Instagram with the handle SeeSparkShop, SEE Sparkshop. So our activity guide is online on our website. There are also posts about it on social media. So if you're looking for things to do, there's an interactive version on our website. And then as we get further into the year, we're hoping to make more of the lessons that we're handing around Chicago open source and available on our website. All of that will be updated there and announced on social media as well.
Awesome. So I think that means follow these ladies at Spark Shop and see what they're going to do next. I'm just fascinated and so thankful that I got to meet you at our conference and then follow along to see all the great things that you're doing for our communities. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you so much.